Okay, welcome to another edition of the Above the Bridge podcast. I'm your host, Thaddeus. I want to shout out my sponsors. First thing, we have Defend Hawaii, and they have a whole bunch of new stuff coming out. They have a bunch of new drops. Go check them out. They have a store in Windward Mall called No One. If not, go on their website, defendhawaii.com. Check out what you want. Use promo code ATB upon checkout. You'll get 15% off your entire purchase order. Next, we have IREP Detail Supply, and they're your one-stop shop superstore for anything you need to detail any of your vehicles. They have a store in Temple Valley Shopping Center, also in Las Vegas. You can also check them out at irepdetailsupply.com. Use promo code ATBPOD upon checkout. You'll get 15% off whatever you need to detail your car, truck, van, or whatever vehicle you have. Next, we have Hawaii Candy Factory, and they have the most craziest snacks ever. You see their stuff everywhere. Foodland, Longs, they're in the cute packages called Noms. I just been using them to fundraise for my daughter's volleyball trip to Las Vegas. But if you go on their website, hawaiicandyfactory.com, promo code ATBPOD upon checkout, you'll get 10% off your entire purchase order. Last, we have our medical mushroom company. They're our locally based medicinal mushroom company. It's Medicinal Mushroom Hawaii, and they have 4 tinctures of extracted mushrooms. They have lion's mane, chaga, turkey tail, and red reishi. I take 4 of these every single day. The red reishi I take at night helps me sleep like a champ. But go check them out. If you don't know the medical benefits of these mushrooms, go on their website, medmushroomhigh.com. It'll explain to you exactly what each one of these mushrooms do. And if you want, you can order one on their website, use promo code ATBPOD, all capitals, and you'll get 45% off your first tincture of extracted mushroom. Go check it out. medmushroomhigh.com. Aloha. Okay, this week, my guest for Above the Bridge is somebody I've known for a very long time, since the MySpace days. She's one of Hawaii's biggest import models, one of the best and biggest go-go dancers that I have worked with. And she is my friend, and I'm proud to say that you're my friend. Nikki Sotelo, what's up, girl?
Hi.
How
Nice
have you
intro.
been? I know.
I'm so busy, so busy, so busy.
Okay, first off, I like see your nails because you just posted you got them did, and
Well, I did them myself. Yeah,
oh, I thought you got holy shit. How do you do that yourself?
it's hard. No, well, I did. I don't know if anybody knows, but I did nails for like I don't know, like 10 years before. Well, like when I was younger.
All right.
Yeah, nails. Yeah.
I don't get how some of these girls' nails are so straight and long and looks like claws, like how they wipe their
There's
ass
a
or
will, there's a way. I know that's the most common question is how do you wipe your ass? But I mean, realistically, I mean, it's not, I guess the long ones, it's not, I feel like you figure it out. There's people that with no hands. I mean,
yeah, that's true. That
yeah,
makes
no
sense.
legs, and they're working out. I mean, there's a way. You just gotta use a lot of toilet paper.
Got a dab.
You got no, you can't dab. Well, I mean, you can't go claws. You gotta a lot of toilet paper.
All right. Well, I've known you for a super long time, and back in the day, you were like one of the biggest kind of club celebrities here in Hawaii, if that's a thing. Um,
Club celebrity.
right?
Oh,
You
that's what
got
my life around to.
well,
A
shit. I
club
remember.
celebrity? Oh my God. I didn't even know that's a genre.
I know. I think I just made it up.
You did.
But you guys
Oh,
were
I
like
don't know if that's a
huge.
good thing. No,
I
yeah, I mean, because
remember
we would
I remember you guys would roll up to O Lounge and you guys would come out the car, you and Shalene, and like it was like oh, all the cameras were out. It was like you guys were like celebrities and
I
you guys
know
would
those were
come
like the
and
good old days.
yeah. The
It's not the same.
MySpace days.
Yeah. Those were fun times. Yeah.
So you guys
I'm
kind of got,
glad. I'm glad that I feel like I'm glad I grew up. I mean, we went out at the time where like going out was like so much more fun,
oh
less
yeah.
camera. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like less things to try to be cool. You just did whatever, you know.
Oh my God. I totally
Yeah.
want to talk to you a lot about that because that's what we're kind of going through now. I remember back in the day when you guys used to go for us, and one of my friends, his son was in high school, and he was just blown away that I knew who you were. He's like, "You're friends with Nikki Sotelo." I'm like, "Yeah, she dances for our company." And he's like, "No, you really know her. Like, if she seen you out, she would
Oh.
tell you hi." I'm like, "Yes, you little shit.
Hey,
That's my
hey,
friend."
I'm cool too.
Yeah, and he was just like blown away because you were like super big in his eyes, and you guys like were like the import scene. You guys were huge, and
I think the scene was popular like at that
yeah,
time. So like that's like so I feel like equivalent like nowadays like YouTube people, right? Like that would be like today, like oh somebody's like YouTube famous. But back then it was like import models, go-go dancers, the clubbing scene was huge and like
yeah,
yeah, I feel like it's definitely not the same. Like who do we really like care about going out? Nobody. Nobody cares about
yeah.
that kind of stuff. Yeah. We're
I
not,
think
I don't feel like it's
yeah,
something like
like
that.
you guys were. I mean, all of us had our own niche, but at that time, like you said, go-go dancing was huge. Like we would sell out our whole club because of who we had on the go-go stages, and now they
Yeah, and
don't
I
even
feel like
have go-go
so I was
dance.
talking anymore, right? Yeah, like it's not
Yeah,
even a thing. I was talking to so much, I talked to so much people about that type of thing where it's like, I feel like now because of like YouTube and all that stuff, it's like it kind of like it shifted because before there was no YouTube, there was like whatever, like MySpace, Instagram, or whatever. But like that's who you're like being a fan of because that's who you're on. But now people don't really care about that type of stuff. So like if you think about it, like kind of even like if you went to the club, like unless like the bottle girls aren't like you know what I mean? Like it's not like they have a persona, it's just
yeah,
random people. Yeah, so there's no like I don't know how to explain it. You know what I mean?
yes, I
Like
understand
that's not where
exactly.
our fan base is anymore. Yeah, like no one's being fans of that. It's more so people are being fans of like YouTube or TikTok or right, like that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. Yeah.
Well, back then the import scene was pretty huge, and you guys were all about that. And like Hin would come down, and it was like a thing. And
So I was wondering, like, is it just a Hawaii thing, or is the import scene like still popular in the mainland? Because
I
it's
don't
not that
even
popular
know. Yeah,
here.
it seems
I was
super
talking to
washed
somebody
out.
about work. Yeah, I was talking to
Yeah,
somebody about work, and somebody that was talking about like, oh, building another like a website, like how I used to have before, and I was just like, we're just like going back and forth about like if it would be the same. I'm like, I don't feel like he said you could go to a car show. I'm like, no, I'm like, I don't, they're not that popular. I mean, do you
yeah.
think that they are that popular? I feel like
No,
they happen, they exist, but like, is it like the in thing? I don't feel like it's not popular. I feel like
nope,
people
I don't.
are fast
And
and the furious time.
yeah, and you guys like now I feel like the car scene is more about the actual cars.
You're right.
I
It's
mean,
just a car show, not like I'm going for. I feel like the import scene was even before I got in, like when I was in high school. It was so theatrical. The booths would have girls, alcohol, cameras, crowds around it, like crazy theatrics, like girls making out, like crazy stuff was happening to where I'm like, oh my God, like this is like now it's like so mellow. I feel like even like when they book you, I think now they're like you can't wear certain things now because
oh
they're
wow.
yeah, like I heard like there's like a dress code and like it's just really different now. Yeah. I think also being politically correct because there might be families there, right? So you can't
Oh
do
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
You
I
can't
don't know.
take your kids to those old freaking car shows.
Yeah,
That's for
no.
sure.
But I mean, I feel like that's what like now it's about cars, so I feel like now maybe it's more acceptable that there's like families there, but before that's like taking your kid to the club, like not going
Yeah,
right because the car show was kind of
exactly.
ratchet before. I feel like,
Super
yeah,
ratchet.
yeah, yeah. I
For
would
us, the car shows were always super cool because we could promote our event. And then you guys would be a huge big part of that because the import models that would come for the car shows that would were from the mainland, you guys were our link to book them to go for our events. And oh, those things I remember like the hin after parties would just be stupid packed and like it'd be a good night for
because
everybody.
everybody, even the girls, even the girls in the mainland, like they were import models, and everybody was like, even I was
Yeah.
like that. Like I was talking to one of my friends that I just like came close to. She's like, I used to like look up to you, and I'm like, I remember Jerry, like when I was in high school, I'm like on the computer, like, oh, this girl's so beautiful. And then I'm like, oh my God, like she's my friend. I'm like, oh, I get to dance with her. So like I get it. But yeah, I feel like that was like the people that you looked up to, like, oh my God, like these that's the celebrities, like the import
Yeah.
models were. It's
Yeah.
not really a thing. That's even what I was telling my friend. I'm like, I feel like even for like Instagram and stuff, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it's not in just like lingerie, 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 lingerie. It's boring. People want lifestyle. They want outfits. They want real. They want, right? Like they want, there's so
Yeah.
much more facets of just being like, it's almost, I don't know if I can talk about it. It's almost like porn.
Yeah.
Uh, like before there was like Jenna Jameson, everything was glam, setup was like all like more like theater, like perfect, like a movie, right? Like, oh, now it's like your camera phone, real life, like the nitty gritty, like you know what I mean? Like it's not about the glam stuff like that. I think even with like it's just different. I don't know.
Yeah. I remember you guys would go-go dance. How did you even get into go-go dancing?
I don't I broke up with my boyfriend. Oh, yeah. So I was a waitress and I broke up with my boyfriend. And I was like, I um I was like Stan, I don't know if you remember Stan, the photographer. He came
Yeah.
into the restaurant I was working at. Yeah, and he was my longtime friend and he was like, hey, can I take pictures of you? And I was like, okay, because I just broke with my boyfriend and I want him to want me back. So I want to take sexy pictures. So he sees it. I think this is when there was Facebook. And I was like, so he sees it on Facebook and then he wants me back. And then the people there was a big meeting and they were all people for the car show. So I did the photo shoot and he's like, everybody wants you to, whatever. Like once I took that one picture, it was just done. Like then after that, I just, yeah, like I did one photo shoot and then I feel like it just snowballed. And then I was like, I don't know if I want to get back together. And then I started dancing, modeling. I think it just all goes hand in hand, right? Once you start taking
Yeah.
pictures, you start dancing. So, yeah, I think I just started going out and met, I feel like it's just a natural thing. You're a model, then you're a go-go dancer, right?
It was weird
I don't
because
know.
we would be like Hanson and myself would kind of find girls and especially Hanson, he always could pick out the good go-go dancers, but it was like, okay, there's a hot girl, ask if she wants to go dance. And then we never stopped for once to think, can she dance or can she handle dancing for a fucking hour? Cause like it's work. You
Yeah.
guys work. You know what I mean? And
No, yeah, no. I honestly, I love go-go dancing though. That time of my life I feel like was just, I'm so glad that I had it. Like I mean, I probably can't live that lifestyle anymore like at this age, but I'm so glad I got to live it because I got to go out and have an excuse to like, I'm going to work, but I get to go to the club. I get to cut in line in the back. I get to get in, have fun, hang out with my friends, kind of get paid. You know what I mean? It's like, it was just like a perfect balance. Like I loved it. It was super good. It's great.
yeah, I thought
Yeah.
those nights were amazing. And I don't know how you guys did it. I mean, it was always fun because you guys would always come hang out with us, get a drink, and then go dance. And
But see, I feel like that was another thing too. Like because you have to dance, I feel like it kind of kept you like a good balance. Like okay, you're drinking, but then you're like, okay, now you're gonna sweat it all out, and then you're like, you know what I mean? Like it kind of kept you a little bit sober because you have to dance. So you would drink, take a drink, then you would like dance, and then you're like, okay, I'm getting sober, drink some, you know. So it's like not too much. Yeah,
I know what to ask you. How was it like dancing with like Cherry? Because Cherry is like a super like legit
good
dancer.
dancer.
Not saying that you are not a legit dancer, but she could do shows like in dance shows,
Yeah.
and she would go
I don't know.
fucking
I like,
ham.
yeah, I don't think I ever felt, I don't know. I like it. I liked it. Like, I don't know. I never really thought like, I mean, maybe I did, but I was drunk. I don't know. I feel like I didn't, I love seeing Cherry dance. Yeah, she's a great dancer. Yeah, see, so that I think, but I also feel like we weren't really there for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like you said, you guys booked girls and it wasn't about really like your dance skill. And like go-go dancers weren't dancing like Cherry.
Yeah.
Cherry's that like, you know, she'd be like, you know, she's like could break dance. I don't like she's like a real like dancer vibes. But I feel like everybody else kind of just danced. So it wasn't really that crazy. But yeah, I love dancing with Cherry. She's my favorite.
Have you ever danced with a girl that was like just horrible, like scrubbed out, couldn't dance, was embarrassing? You don't need to say names, but
I mean, I don't know. You know, I don't think I think I'm not really. Maybe I'm just like not even like judge. Like I'm not even judging because I'm sure there is, but I don't think it's bad because everybody's kind of they're not. If everybody was Cherry, then yeah, I would feel like you know what
yeah.
where I hated to dance at was gay parties
Oh,
because they dance so good. So like I would dance at like a gay event. The people on the dance floor are literally out dancing. They're like falling to the floor, coming up, doing the splits. Like all I'm like, oh my God, like you need to go on the stage. I'm like, I don't even know why I'm here right now. But like, you know how they dance so extra? They like do
oh
the
yeah.
craziest. I'm like, okay, why did you guys even hire me? Like, I gotta go home.
They're over there trying to battle you guys.
No, they're just, I'm like, I felt embarrassed because the people on the dance floor, like, everybody's like dancing better than me. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go.
Shoot. I mean, the at that time go-go dancing was huge, and we would do those heavens events where we'd take we'd
Oh,
take 939 and take out all the exotic dancers, and
the
then
dance.
we would just have go-go dancers.
So good.
And those
That
things
was a
used to
cool concept.
rage out. Yeah.
That was a cool concept. See, like, and that just goes to show you how powerful that scene was that you could do something like that. And it is the whole like fan base thing, like what I'm taught, like, you know, because every go-go dance had like a fan base, so that's why people are coming out. I feel like without that, I don't know, it's not the same.
Yeah. And
Like
also, yeah. I
I
remember
don't know.
the heavens we were doing towards the ending of it. It was the quality of our go-go dancers, like we were
Okay,
just like,
so when you guys
what the
first started
fuck?
Heavens, I feel like it was very, very like it was the people were like girls that were people, and then
Yeah,
slowly. But I think that's just kind of what happened is like go-go dancing kind of became mainstream, like it's oversaturated. Everyone's doing it. It's not, and so like you said, like the quality. There's so many people that like now it's like, you know, who are these people? Like you don't even know. Because I
yeah,
think even now, like, I mean, they don't even have go-go dancers, but if they did, I probably wouldn't even know who they are, right? You'd be like,
yeah.
who's that? Yeah.
So nowadays the club scene for me, in my opinion, sucks. It's been
100%. I think it's
yeah,
like that everywhere. It's just clubbing is kind of dying out a little bit. And that's why I said, like, I'm so happy I had my
yeah.
moment in like the best fucking time ever. My clubbing days, the club went off. It was the best. Now it's not so much. I feel like it's more about like being mellow. People aren't trying to be crazy, right? Or
Yeah.
something.
What do you think
Like they want to be
is
cool.
is the reason. Like I think in my opinion, some of it has changed because of social media. Like when we were younger, the club scene was to go out and you could meet people, you could see different people
Oh.
and talk to them. Now you don't have to risk
You
it.
don't
Like,
have to. No,
yeah,
okay, you're right. You don't have to, like, to meet someone, you don't have to go to the club, but before you had to, you
yeah,
like didn't have that avenue of Tinder and whatever. To get a date, you'd go out and you'd be like, let's go find girls, let's go find guys. That's how you meet guys, is the club, right? Like
yeah,
that's, you're like, oh, let's, I'm single, we're gonna go to the club. Now it's like stay home, swipe right, swipe left. You're going to the club more like social with who you're friends with. You're not trying to like go talk to random people.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I thought it was because, I mean, that makes sense, but I thought maybe it was because of like everyone like recording now, that like people care about their image and like how they
That's part
look.
of
So
it.
they're like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, everyone's recording, right? So it's like, I don't know. I'm like moving,
Yeah.
but yeah, like everything is like being, I don't know. So everyone cares about how they're acting, how they look. Like, oh, I don't want to, whatever. My boyfriend's gonna see. I don't know. Before it was like, no, I don't even think I brought my phone out before. I think
Yeah.
I just was, the only pictures were like my digital camera
Yeah. I used to
or
have
I brought my camera or the event coverage.
yeah. I think
Am I
for
lagging?
today, I think today's generation, like you said, is all about image and status. And for us, we like for guys, it takes a lot for a guy to go up to a girl in the club and be like, "Hi, I'm Thad. Can I buy you a drink?" And she's with her friends, and like you can get shut down. You don't have guys now, they don't have to take that risk. They can just, like you said, be in their living room and swipe left or right without having to feel that embarrassment or put yourself out there and take a risk of getting rejected or looking stupid in front of everybody. So it's a lot less
Yeah.
shameful, you know what I mean? And how you just explained that everybody's out for their image, recording, like they're not in the moment. They're trying to show people that they're
Yeah, people aren't exactly like, they're gonna
yeah,
go because they want to record this and whatever, like look a certain way, like I got bottle service. It's not like really living in the moment. They're just doing it for, probably for that main reason. It's not as fun. And
yeah,
I feel like too, like, I don't know, there's like a lot of pressure on your image now because of social media. So like girls and guys, so like guys are held to this crazy high standard now where they have to pay for everything and do right. Like now it's like, oh well, what do you have to offer me, da, da, da. And then even girls, I feel like with all the, you know, the face tune and the body and the like, now everything has to be perfect and you have to look good. So even for us, like, you know, like it's like such a thing where now, okay, we have to spend all this money to look a certain way and we have to, like, you know what I mean? Like every I think for everything, it's like just a lot of pressure on stuff to where, I don't know, it seems hard to even like date or like, right? Like I don't know, it just seems so difficult. Like I don't know. I don't want to do
yep,
that.
it is. And I'm with you. I'm super glad our younger experiences were way more fun. And at first I would always talk to Hanson about it. And I used to ask him, is it because we're older or is it really shitty now? Like,
The times
is
are
it
changed.
us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
both, but it's a good thing
yeah,
it got shitty when we got older so we
yeah,
can mellow out with the club scene.
yeah. I just feel bad because
Because
these
even
young kids,
promos, I'm like,
they don't have fun like how we used to have fun. Like their
yeah.
expectation of fun is at a level that we surpassed at that age that was way more fun, in my opinion.
Okay, so we were talking about too, me and Hanson, I think, about, do you remember when they had those like events for teenagers
Oh
at the
yeah.
club? They were
Yes.
called something. I forget what, but it was like for teenagers and they had them at the club. I forget what they were called. They were called something, all age rager. No, 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 not that.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it was for kids. and then you would go to the club and they would your parents would let you go and you're not drinking but you would like freak dance people and
Yeah.
like it was so crazy but we were talking about how we don't know if they would ever have that like if that's
Oh
even
no.
like do you think they would even have that today? I don't think so because it's so different now. Like no one's going to
Yeah.
let their kids go to that. But before it was a thing, like you would go to that and like be doing like almost kind of adult stuff.
Yeah. But
Like
like you
not
said,
drinking, but going to the
yeah.
club.
But like you said,
Yeah.
they were dancing ratchet and being wild,
Yes, it was bad.
but nobody had iPhones to record it all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because if
You're right. Yeah.
now, if they did, their parents would somehow find it, and oh, that
And
would
be
be,
it would
yeah,
no the world wouldn't be it would be unacceptable to the world. They'd be like
yes,
look what's happening at this club, like you shut it down, this is horrible, like there's just too much eyes, like and then people complain about everything.
yeah,
Yeah, I like it because I have a daughter, so
yeah. I was just gonna talk
like
to you
I feel
about
like I'm
that too.
glad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm glad. I'm
I'm
super
glad
glad. Like,
that things are changing, right?
yeah,
Because like even now, like a lot of my friends' kids, they're older than my daughter, but you know, I things are just different from when we were kids and obviously having girls like but they're
yeah,
into different stuff like they don't go out, they like to stay in, they like to be on the computer or their games or you know it's not like what we were doing. I was like catching the bus to the mall to like
yep,
get numbers and stuff. Yeah. So
exactly.
I'm just saying, like, I feel like people nowadays, like, no one's letting their kid catch the bus by themselves,
Yeah,
like, and go to the mall, and
that's
right,
so
like, I don't think
funny.
anyone's letting their
Yeah.
mall, like, go to the mall by themselves, and like, do kids even do that anymore? I don't know,
Nope.
but I feel like
I
even if
just
they
was
did, I feel like it's
talking to
not
somebody
common.
about this too, like how my daughter doesn't know what it is to catch bus. She's in high school and I freaking caught bus everywhere. Like from Kaneohe, we'd put our skateboards in our bag and we'd catch bus to Ala Moana and we wouldn't catch bus home till night and we'd just be cruising around. And then we are like sixth grade, seventh grade. There is no way my daughter could do that.
Exactly.
She wouldn't know how to
Yeah.
do that
I
for
think
one.
I caught like crazy, like even like transfers. Like I would transfer from this to this, like
Yeah.
all like super far, right? Yeah. I'm like, you could spend the whole day catching the bus, honestly.
Yeah. It was an
But I feel
adventure.
like no parent it was. Sometimes we'd be like, let's see, let's go, you know, all over the place. But no
Yeah.
parent now is gonna I think I was catching the bus at nighttime too. I was
Yeah.
definitely catching the bus at some really
Yeah.
like sketch places. So I definitely no one's gonna let their kid do anything like that. So I'm glad though. But you know what it is? Like they don't even want to, I think. Like
Yeah.
they don't want to catch the or like do the stuff that we were doing. Like they want to be on their pad or right? Like they're interested in different stuff. It's not which I'm glad. I like that. You know, it's
Yeah.
not about doing the weird stuff they're into.
Well, like with social media now, it's different. And you've been super huge on social media. And honestly, I always get like a random request. I haven't recently, but I would get a random request from you. I'm like, I'm her friend already. And then it's like, oh no, my shit got shut down.
It's a struggle, man. If only I could just have kept everything. I'd have so many followers, but it's so hard to like have to start over and over and over again. But um I'm learning to not post things. I think social media now has changed drastically too. Everything's like almost offensive, I think. Like you everything gets flagged. Normal things get flagged. Like compared
Yeah.
to social media before and the things I was allowed to post before, like changed a lot. Like I think even like something in a bikini could easily get flagged.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like
Because your social media is
you're like,
kind
I
of
don't know.
advertisement for your website and stuff like that, at least before, right?
I don't have a website anymore, but yeah, before that was the whole point, right? Like to yeah, like have it work for you promotional wise.
I think with social media now, people kind of put up an image of themselves. Like if people look at your social media, you look nothing like the person you are, in my opinion. Like you're someone super down to earth, super cool, super fun to be around and talk to. But if you look at your page, you look like, holy shit, she's a fucking model that no one, like, she's not even gonna wanna give you the time of day kind of thing. Not in a mean way, but just unobtainable to even
It's weird.
converse with.
I don't think that at all. Yeah, no, I don't think that at all. I mean, I wouldn't think that, but I mean, I guess I get it. You know what, too? I feel like I, I'm so desensitized because, um, like I lived this lifestyle, right, for so long, like since I was a teenager. I
Yeah.
mean, I hate to say it, but I think I might have been go-go dancing before I even turned 21.
Oh
Like I
no, not
remember when
for
I had
us.
my 21st.
Nana.
I think I had my 21st birthday at the club and they were like, you were already coming to the club. So yeah, but I feel like, so for me, like I can't even grasp like I don't even know what it's like the real life because I've been doing this type of stuff. So this is all I know. So yeah, like
Yeah.
I guess I don't even look at myself like, oh, like it's just normal to me.
Yeah.
But I think I don't care. Like I don't care. I know that everybody thinks a certain way. So like if somebody says, "Oh, I heard," I'm like, "Yeah, I know." Like of course you're gonna hear or you're gonna think because what else? But I guess I just don't even pay no mind. It's if I know you, and then if I don't, I feel like I kind of like that what you just said because a lot of people tell me stuff like that, like, "Oh wow, like I didn't think that," or even girls. A lot of my friends now, was like, "Oh, like." We're best friends now, but maybe when they first met me like years ago, like, oh, I thought you were whatever. And I'm like, I like that because I'm like, oh, it's like it's the bar is set low, so it's like easy to impress them. They're
Yeah.
probably thought like, oh, I was probably a bitch or stupid, can't carry a conversation. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, well that's good. Like now I'm impressing them.
Yeah, like even Sasha was so impressed how nice you were. And because she never met you, and she's like, "Oh, Nikki's super nice." And I was like, "Oh yeah, she's been nice forever. Like it's not like just now." And she's like, "Oh, I never really met her." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I just assumed she did." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I don't know why anyone would think otherwise, but I feel like it's nice because people have I I guess like it's like impressive because people have this image of you. They expect you to be, I don't know, maybe a shitty person or not like think you're whatever. But then if you're nice and they're like, wow, like so easy to impress
Yeah, it's true. Um, how hard is it for you to keep up with social media? Like, fuck, it becomes a job, and it's all you always gotta be
I
kind of
honestly,
putting out there.
I enjoy social media. I think if I didn't, I probably wouldn't be still like a lot of my friends that got older, nobody really keeps up with social media,
Yeah.
really. I feel like I honestly like, I enjoy media in general. Like, I enjoy photos, videos, pictures. I like to edit things. I even like editing videos. I just enjoy all the facets. So I feel like I love social media. Like, I like to scroll. I like to like see trends, even like outfits. But like I love social media. So I feel like it's not really a job because I mean it is a job in a sense, but it's something that I like. So it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like work to me. It feels like I like this. Like I like to do this type of stuff. I think what does feel like work to me is like the other kind of work that I do. Like I don't
Oh,
really enjoy that type of stuff. If I could, I'd rather just do social media instead of like, the spicy stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. What I do enjoy, especially for you, and because I know you, is seeing your posts with your daughter and stuff. And you're like me, we had a daughter, and it changed you. I know it changed you. I've known a difference, and it my daughter
100.
changed me
Yeah.
big time. We both
Yeah.
changed huge, and to
Yeah.
see the mom that you are transcends anything, in my opinion, that you've ever done in the club or anything like that. I think how you are with your daughter and just hearing you talk about her,
I
it's
know.
so
I can't even hold
refreshing.
it in. I can't even
Yeah.
hold it in. I'm like, every time I'm like, oh my God, like sometimes I feel like I can't even talk about her when I'm out because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get sad. But I'm so like passionate about that too. Like I feel like I never thought I was like, I feel like I was very selfish as like, just a single person. Like I never really, of course, I wanted to have kids, but it was always like later, later, later. Everything's me, 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 me. And then when I had my daughter, I just feel like I'm like, oh my God, like I just was meant to do this. Like I've never felt like this much love. I'm like, it's so rewarding. And like, I just live for my, like, I don't know. I love it. I love everything about it. Like, I love it. I love being a mom. I feel like, oh, I would have never thought I'd be a good mom, but I'm like, I was born for this. Like, this is my shit. This is this is it. Yeah, for real.
When
Yeah.
were you nervous? Like when you're about to be a mom, were you getting nervous or you're like, oh, yup, this is it?
No, not before. No, I was unsure, of course. When I had to bring her home, I was like, what did I just do? Like, oh my God, there's no taking this back. Like, oh my God.
What do I
Like
do
when
with
you bring
this
them
thing?
home, when you bring them home in the car seat, you're like, oh my God, like this valuable, like don't break it. Like, oh my God. Like I seriously was so scared. I was like, I was just talking to my friend about it. Like I didn't sleep a wink. Like I was scared she was gonna die. So like stop breathing. That like I never slept. Like I think my whole life, like I don't really sleep without her. She still sleeps in my bed, but when she was a baby, I would sleep like this with one eye open, and I would just constantly check if she was breathing, like because I didn't want her. You know how you hear like SIDS or I don't know. I was like
Yeah.
I just couldn't like I would literally just constantly check like is she breathing? And they're like, oh, sleep when the baby sleeps. I'm like, what if she dies? So yeah, really was so nervous. And I think everything is like Hanson would always say, like, you're never really ready, right? Like you're not ready
Yeah.
to have a kid, but
Yeah.
it it just happens. You have one and then everything just falls into place. And I think to me, like it's so rewarding because it's so hard. It's like the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But then that makes it so rewarding because you're like, wow, you have to sacrifice, you have to do all this stuff that just makes it like the best thing you've ever done in your life. Like it's just so good. Yeah.
Yo, I
Like I
totally
can't
agree.
just like I don't have words to explain like how amazing it is. It's just great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool because since you've been coming out recently, I would have conversations with you about your daughter, and I just see and feel a lot of the same things you're feeling. I was lucky for me that Hanson had a kid before I did, and because of
Yeah.
that,
Hanson was a good.
yeah, he kind of by example taught me how to navigate the nightlife industry while being a parent. And I mean, his
And
son
Hanson is such a
yeah,
good dad. Yeah, like even because Hanson had Caleb such a long time ago, right? Was during a time that we were crazy.
yeah,
But he was
yeah,
still a good dad. Yeah, like I feel like at that time, like I don't even think I couldn't even like grasp like but he was still doing the damn thing, like doing both. Like he still had Caleb all the time. So yeah.
yeah. And for me, I was blessed because of the role model that he was to me as a parent, and to see his son now, he's in college and he is the spitting image of Hanson with the same values and
I love
maturity as Hanson. I mean, he's definitely not as crazy as Hanson, but he's a good person, just like Hanson.
yeah,
And
yeah.
his example helped me navigate being a dad. I remember we were about to flyer. We were gonna go UH and put up flyers for a club, and
Fire.
Hanson's son, yeah, but when flyers were the thing, Hanson's
Oh
son was
yeah.
by the window.
Yeah.
Hanson's son
I
was
was
by
talking
the
about Hanson. I
window.
was like, remember flyering?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. I got stories about flyering, but his son was by the window of the house, and he's like, "Daddy, when are you coming home?" And he was super young, like a little kid. And I remember Hanson say, "Oh, Daddy got to work.
Oh,
I'll be home in a little bit." And I just remember the sacrifices Hanson made to provide for his son, but the time that he would allot to work and then come back and do his stuff, I always
yeah.
remember that, and I always remembered to do the same. Like I'm gonna make time to make sure I get my work done and do my responsibilities, but make sure I'm locked in when I'm with my daughter, and like work can't be a part of the priority. And Yeah, flying was nuts, man. We would fly our cars all freaking night, and I would step in vomit or see people oofing while I'm putting a flyer on their car. Like it was
Dead.
horrible.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think I used to, I don't really remember. I have a really bad memory of like before, but I know I used to help flyer before too.
But being a mom, what were some of the things you noticed that you changed about yourself once you had your kid?
Oh my God, like every single thing is so different. I'm like, okay, so I'm such a different, like, I'm like two different people, I feel like, but because I don't know, I'm just weird. But when I have my daughter, I'm just like just another person because I don't care about anything else. Like, even if I go to like a party, right? The parents are normally like drinking on the side and the kid, I'm like literally in the floor with the kids. Like, if I'm going to a party with my daughter, I'm like in the mix. I'm with all the kids, doing all the kid shit, like whatever. Then when I don't have my daughter, I'm like, let's turn like I feel like I just to keep it separate. I don't really, I mean, of course, like if I have to, I'm lucky that I get that like right now my schedule with her dad is like we split her. So I do have the time to be able, I feel like not everyone is blessed to be able to have time off. So then they have to
Yeah.
figure out how to navigate with having their kids and then having fun. But for me, because I do get to have the time apart, that when I have my daughter, it's just, I'm like tunnel vision. I'm just like everything's like for her, like you know what I mean, like nothing. If I have her, then it's like I'm not doing other stuff. I'm just like even so right now our my schedule with her dad is we split her 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Which I feel like it was better because less goodbyes, like
Yeah.
for her, because it was really hard. Kids and their mom. I spent majority of the time with her when she was little, so it's like really hard for her. So I was like, I don't want to keep giving her back and forth because she have to keep crying and saying bye or whatever. So I feel like I like the 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and then when she gets in her zone, she can just like kind of forget about me, like
Yeah.
just not be sad. Yeah, but it's for my friends, they always say like they know, even like Hanson, it's like when I have my daughter, like I'm not doing anything. I'm not like, don't call me. Like, I'm not going out. They're like, it's like night and day. And then the second I don't have her, everyone's like, hey, like, what are you doing? Like, let's go out. Da-da-da. Like, like, it's completely different. But as soon as I get her, I'm like, what? Like, I have my daughter. Like, I'm not doing, you know what I mean? Like, I have my kid. Like, what are you talking about? No, I'm not going anywhere.
That's good that you have
So
a
yeah,
good
everything.
balance. Yeah.
Well, everything changed like when I have her, I just feel like I focus on her. I'm just like helicopter mom. I'm not sure if that's like a good thing because I know it's bad because you got to think about yourself. But I am lucky with the scheduling, like I said, like that I have
Yeah.
time to myself. Because if I just had her, I'd probably be losing it if I was just focusing on her the whole
Yeah.
time. But
So I wanted to ask, and this probably comes up, like what are your feelings? Like, say your daughter sees your Instagram when she gets older or finds out the stuff that you've been doing. Like, what do you think that conversation is gonna be like, or is it to the point where you're not too worried about it?
of course, um, this is what I think. Okay, of course, nobody wants no like of course I don't want my daughter to see or hear, and she will have to. I hope by then I don't live in Hawaii when she gets old enough for people to talk about me. But but like I have all these weird plans. I'm like, I'm gonna move and then I'm gonna change my name. So then she because right now my name's mom to her. When
Yeah.
she figured it out, like, and her last name is my name. So I was like, I had like all these times I'm like, I'm gonna move and I'll change my last name. So then she won't even know what my last name is, and then they won't even. No one will. It will never come up. But really, I want to believe that when my daughter is old enough, which I don't even know, it might come up before that I would have to say that I had to make sacrifices to provide for her. And I know that the things that I do are unconventional but I am so grateful for all the opportunities, even though they're unconventional and a lot of people look down on it and it's not something that, you know, you want your kids to look at. It gave me um, the ability to stay home and raise my daughter. And I didn't have to, you know, I got to work when she's sleeping or within a couple hours. Like I got to be able to do that and stay home with her. Not everyone gets to do that and still be able to provide for her, and whatever struggles that I had encountered prior with her dad, like I got to make all the money, take care of everybody. And I don't, that's a sacrifice that you have to make. So I do have to sacrifice that. Yeah, it's not a great job, and I'm gonna have to have talks with her. And yeah, she might have to be bullied or something. I don't know. Like people might say some things about me, but I hope that when the time is right, she'll have a good head on her shoulders to be like, look, you know, my mom did this. She spent time. I got to spend time with her. You know, like that's her childhood. I got to be there. I was there for everything. I'm forever always there. Like, and that, you know, it's just something that I had to do, but it doesn't define me, right? Like,
Yep, I agree.
so I hope that she has like at that time, like we could like actually talk, and I could be like, look, you know, mom had to do some things, but you know, it provided us with what we have, and it's not something I'm proud of, but it's just you got to do what you got to do. And of course, I wouldn't want her to do anything like that. Of course not, you know.
Yeah.
But
That
it is what it
honestly, your answer just now probably impressed me way more than I thought it would. I think that,
it's a hard question,
yeah,
honestly. It's a hard question. And like I've thought of it a million different times, and I have so much stupid things that I think of, but realistically, all I can hope for is that, you know, I raise her to be to have a good head on her shoulders, for us to have the conversation and be able to be like, look, like these were hard times, and you know, we do things that we're not proud of, but it got us by, and like that's not something that I would ever want you to ever do. And hopefully, by the time she's old enough, I could have sacrificed enough to give her a different life to where she won't have to do anything like that. Right.
yeah.
So,
Wow, I am very impressed with your answer. I feel like with kids and children, they can see through the bullshit. Like any kind of stuff that you've done or did, like your daughter knows you, like you said, as mom,
like the kind
and
of person you are.
exactly,
Yeah.
she knows
So,
who
and
mom
I know
is.
that
Yeah.
when I was a teenager, my mom's Japanese. I don't know if that Asian plays anything, but it's so different. Like I feel like just the generation, my mom was not really like, she didn't hug me or tell me I love you or talk about stuff, or wasn't very like open. And I feel like I think there was a point when I turned like, I don't know, 18 or 20, where I just was like, mom, like I need to talk to you and be able to tell you things, because she was just like, no, you can't do this. No, 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 no. But then I was so bad. But I was like, mom, like, I want you to know where I am, because if something bad happens to me, like, I know I'm not allowed to do this, but I feel like we need to have like a boundary where like you got to be a little understanding. So that way, if something bad happens, like I want to be able to tell you things without you saying like just absolutely no, that way, because if not, I'm just gonna lie and then whatever, because I was still kind of older. But I thought in my head, like, if my mom could have the conversation and we could be open, then it would be a different story, right? So if I could come to her and tell her, like, when she's old enough, and have the conversation instead of like lie and be like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. What? No, you know, like that would be a normal, I think, in the back in the day answer is like you like lie to your kids and you don't talk to them about them and you just avoid everything and like, oh, don't listen to that. Or, you know, I would want to just like actually have the conversations and say, you know, like say what it is and say what I hope can become of the future. But I think if you can just be a little bit more, right, like have the conversations, and maybe it won't be so bad, because my mom didn't. Like, I think it's so funny. I don't know if are your parents like that, or your parents were like
Exactly like
that.
that. And I'm the same way because of that. Like how you are, I have big open communication with my daughter. Granted, my daughter doesn't know 90% of the dumb shit that I have done. And I hope that never comes up. But the communication I have with my parents is nothing like the communication I had and have with my daughter, especially when she was young. It wasn't about don't do that, don't do this, do this. I'm like, why are you doing this? Let me try to understand why
Like
what you're thinking. And I
where you're
think
coming
because
from, and like
yeah, So it gives them
I
the
think
opportunity to trust that they can talk to you. You know what I mean?
yeah, instead of just being scolded, right? Because I didn't want to
Yeah.
tell my mom anything. She was just like, no, 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 no. Like, no, it wasn't like any, like, there was no conversation or anything. I'm like, even now, like, the amount of times I apologize to my daughter, I don't think my mom's ever told me sorry, but I tell my daughter sorry, like, hey, mom is so stressed out. Like, I'm sorry if I, if I lose my shit, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I tell her sorry all the time. Like, mommy, sorry. I didn't mean to yell at you. My mom never told me I didn't mean to yell at you ever. She would never be like, I'm sorry I yelled. Like, I would
Yeah.
never hear that from my mom. But I was just saying that my mom just came over and my daughter is so affectionate and so loving and so cuddly. And my mom wasn't like that with me. Like, she didn't like tell me, like, I love you or cuddle. My daughter is like, all over my mom. Like, she's like, grandma, like holding her, grandma, this is my grandma. This is my grandma. I love my grandma. And my mom, I can tell she's so uncomfortable. Like, she's sitting there, my daughter like all over her, like trying to hug her, kiss her, hold. And my mom's over there, and she's like, "Grandma, I love you." She's like, my mom like doesn't even know how to act, and like it's just so funny how different it is, and I feel different too, like because I'm like, yeah, like it wasn't like that with my mom, but then she has to see like how I don't know how different it is. I don't know why it was so different. It's just normal that it wasn't you weren't very like affectionate before or
Yeah.
something.
I don't know. I mean, and our parents were a different generation. Like my dad's on
Yeah.
grumpy Korean local brother that like it's just you can't talk to him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, my daughter's just so affectionate. It's crazy. It's like
one thing people, in my opinion, don't know about you that I know is how much of a good friend you are to your friends. And
yeah.
I know you go above and beyond, and I've experienced it with you, how you are to Hanson, especially this past year when he had a little
Uh,
bit of turmoil, and he told me a lot of times how much you were there for him and how much you helped him through kind of his life challenges, especially this past year. And I was kind of blown away thinking like, wow, like Nikki's a super solid friend. I even remember at his wedding you were dying pretty much, and you showed up.
Well, I honestly like that's just I mean I'm not trying to be like brag or anything, but that's just how I am. I don't know why. I think I'm like half people pleaser, but I really just ride for my people. And Hanson was my like one of my really good friends and he was there for me through a lot of things. So I feel like likewise, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna do I'm so lucky. A lot of people in the industry, I feel like one of my friends, she's like, she moved down here and she's like, I don't really have like any friends, like real, like she's having problems with people. And I'm like, because like it's hard to find when you're in the nightlife, it is hard to find real people, to find good friends. You are going to meet a lot of shady people because you're drinking, you're going out. A lot of people are only there for the happy times, right? They're only there for the party you to like go out and they're not there in the dark times or in the real life stuff in the not clubbing scene. I was super blessed in my opinion that all of the people that I have made friends with in the nightlife, I am still friends with today. They are like my great friends, like almost I consider my family. A lot of people that I worked with, I feel like I've met so much amazing people like in the scene, and I love everybody that I work with. Like I consider everybody like my family. And yeah, like I would do anything for Hanson, and I do feel like I would tell him like, I'm so glad that like not glad, but the fact that whatever has happened that the kind of downs that like he's experiencing, I mean both of us, I'm like it's bad, but like brought us together as friends because like had he not be going through all of that, then we wouldn't be like hanging out so much or like now we got to go to lunch. I'm like this is nice. Like it's sad that it had to take some crazy like life altering thing, but it's nice. I think it's nice, like we get to like be friends again, like hang out a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, so I like it.
Yeah. And I respected that about you. And I definitely know that like Hanson leaned on your friendship like this past year as well as all of us.
Yeah.
Um Future wise, where do you see yourself in the future, like with your career or also as a mom?
Oh, um, I don't, what do you, as a mom, I don't know, as a mom, I feel like the future seems very scary. I don't think I really think ahead when it comes to like parenting, I guess. Because I'm like, what would I see myself as a mom? I mean, I hope that, oh, I don't know. It's so, it's so hard. I don't know where I see myself, but I am doing a million different things and I feel like it's just a really hard time right now for everything. Like everything's not really doing well. The economy's like
Yeah.
bad and like everyone's kind of struggling. I'm struggling like but I am trying like to get into like different types of work so I can like venture outside of the type of stuff that I do. So hopefully, you know what I mean? Like I can move on to like better things, social standards wise. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
so really like I have like the body sculpting and weight loss stuff. So I'm hoping that, something takes off and the nails, that maybe, I won't be doing what I'm doing forever, but we'll see.
That's awesome. I think with you, you're somebody who hustles, and I think you'll figure it out. And
Yeah, I'm
you're,
definitely not afraid because I'm not afraid to work when I have to. So
I
I'm not
agree.
like, I truly believe that no matter what you do, if you really put in the work, like you truly put in the work, the time, the effort, like that you'll be successful if you put in the work. But I think what we lack in this generation is that nowadays people want everything to be easy because of social media, because of this they want to snap your fingers and then, oh wow, I'm famous, or oh wow, my company is. You have to put in the work, like you said, like before, like the flyering, the things that people don't see when it comes to business. Everyone thinks today, because entrepreneurship is so common, that you just snap your fingers and you are rich. No, but I truly believe if you take that time and you work and you invest and you take the time, you go out, you flyer, you promote, you talk to people, like whatever it is your business, you'll be successful if you truly put in the work. So I do feel like if I just work really hard, then something's got to work, right?
Yeah, definitely. And you have a good work ethic. So I think it'll figure itself out. I think with you, sky's the limit. Like, I think you haven't tapped into what you're potentially capable of, but I
I hope
think you're
I.
in the direction, and you're you. You're always fun to be around, fun to talk to. So your personality will always come out in whatever you do. Um, are you guys going out tonight, or do you have your daughter?
I do have my daughter. It's my daughter's
Oh,
birthday this weekend, so I'm like super crazy, but I'm keeping her like an extra week.
oh, nice.
So for her birthday, like to have her during. I have people flying in today actually to come stay at my house for her birthday party. So
Cool.
two of her, it's my best friend, but like she calls them her cousins, so it's like my family. So she's gonna have two other kids here. They're gonna have like the time of their life, and
Oh, yeah.
as soon as they leave, she's going to her dad's house, and then I'm coming out.
Oh, okay. Because Brian Lee's in town. We're taking him out tonight.
Oh, I feel like I don't know if I saw him or I spoke to him recently, like about Vegas, but I heard he's doing so good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He's
that's
doing
nice.
super good.
Uh,
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to
I,
jump on my show. You're somebody I always wanted to have on, and somebody I do appreciate and I respect in the industry we're in. And yeah, you always been, to me personally, you always been solid. You always did what you said you were gonna do. You always showed up to work and did your job, and you're always someone super nice to me from the very first time I met you. Um, and you always supported Artist Group Network, and for me
of
that was huge.
course. Yeah, of course.
All right. Well, where can people find you on social media?
I don't even know. Oh, okay. I changed my Instagram name. Instagram, Nikki Vibes XX. I'm like, I don't even know because my Instagram keeps getting deleted. So I'm like, I don't even know what my Instagram names are. But yeah, that's my Instagram.
All right. And for us it's the same. My Instagram for the podcast is Above the Bridge Podcast. Our YouTube channel is Above the Bridge Podcast. My website is atbpod.com and my personal Instagram is Thaddy Daddy High. All right. Well, hopefully I will see you out soon. You're always fun to hang out
Thank you
with
so
and talk
much
to in
for
the
having
club.
me. I'm so glad to be on here. Thank you so much.
Right on. I appreciate you. Um, okay. Any shout outs or anything else you want to say?
No, I think I'm okay.
All right, we're out. Shout out to the Artist Group Network. Aloha.